The rebellion didn't start with protests. It started with stains, grease marks on paper wrappers, burned drops on wooden tables, smoky fingerprints on plates that couldn't be wiped clean. Customers began choosing places that didn't look perfect. They trusted the mess. Across America, small food stands and backyard grills began breaking rules quietly. They removed drip guards. They tilted grills just enough. They let the meat speak for itself. The grill drop returned, slowly, carefully. Food became unpredictable again. Some days it was intense, some days it was subtle, but it was always honest. Meanwhile, big brands panicked. Their food tasted the same everywhere, and now that sameness felt empty. People took one bite, nodded politely, and moved on. Something was missing, and everyone knew it. Chains tried to recreate the grill drop artificially. Sauces were injected, flavors were sprayed, smoky drip became a marketing word. But people could tell, because real grill drops don't come from bottles. They come from gravity and fire. Late at night, old grill masters taught the young ones secrets that were never written down. How long to wait, when not to rush, how to trust the fall. The grill drop became more than flavor. It became freedom. Freedom from perfect plates. Freedom from control. Freedom to let food be alive. But every rebellion attracts attention. Inspectors began showing up. Rules tightened again. Some grills were shut down for being too messy. The question America now faced was simple, but dangerous. Is food supposed to be controlled or remembered? America didn't change overnight. It never does. But one by one, people stopped asking for perfection and started asking for feeling. They didn't want clean edges. They didn't want identical bites. They wanted food that left evidence. Evidence that fire had touched it. Evidence that gravity had played its role. The grill drop was no longer a secret. It became a choice. Some places kept their barriers and rules. Their food stayed safe, predictable, and forgettable. Others took the risk. They allowed drops to fall, stains to spread, flavors to surprise. And those places stayed full. Families gathered around tables that looked used. Plates came back marked, not polished. Children grew up watching drops fall and learning that the best things in life don't always land where you expect. Even big brands began to change. Not with campaigns, not with slogans, but with silence. They redesigned grills, removed guards quietly, let gravity work again just a little, enough to remind people why they fell in love with American food in the first place. The grill drop didn't take over the world. It didn't need to. It simply returned to where it belonged, between fire and patience, between hunger and memory. And now, when a drop falls onto bread, onto fries, onto a waiting plate, no one stops it. Because that drop carries more than flavor. It carries history. It carries rebellion. It carries soul. And in that final moment, America remembered something important. Food was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be felt. In America, there was once a small but powerful moment that happened on every grill. It wasn't loud, it wasn't famous, but it changed food forever. They called it the grill drop. The grill drop was that final moment when hot juices from grilled meat slowly fell onto toasted bread, vegetables, or a waiting plate below. The drip that carried smoke, salt, fat, and fire together. It wasn't a recipe written in cookbooks. It was an accident that became tradition. Now imagine this. What if the grill drop never existed? In this version of America, grills were clean, too clean. Meat was cooked carefully, lifted quickly, never allowed to drip, never allowed to fall. Chefs believed flavors should stay locked inside, not escape. Backyards still had grills. Smoke still rose into summer skies. But something felt missing. People couldn't name it. Burgers tasted fine, but forgettable. Steaks looked perfect, but didn't linger in memory. Food filled stomachs, but not hearts. Across diners and food trucks, plates came out dry and neat. No stains on the paper, no marks of chaos. No signs that food had truly lived on the grill. Children grew up thinking this was normal. They never knew about bread soaking up smoky drops. They never knew about fries catching meat juices at the last second. They never knew why older generations paused before eating, searching for something they couldn't explain. Somewhere along the highways of the Midwest, old grill masters quietly retired. They remembered the days when flavor wasn't controlled. It fell naturally. In this world, American food culture became efficient, fast, consistent. But it lost its soul. Food stopped telling stories. Every bite tasted planned, measured, safe. Then one summer evening at a forgotten roadside stand, something unexpected happened. A cook turned away for just a second, a piece of meat rested too long above the grill, and gravity did what it always does. A single drop fell. It hit the bread below, sizzling softly. No one noticed at first. But that drop carried something dangerous. Memory. The drop was small. So small that it barely made a sound when it touched the bread. Just a soft hiss, like a secret being told to the fire. The cook didn't see it. The customers didn't see it. The flavor noticed. That bread absorbed the smoke, the salt, the heat, the history. When it was served, mixed quietly among other plates, no one expected anything different until the first bite. The man who ate it stopped chewing halfway. Not because it tasted bad, but because it tasted familiar in a way he couldn't explain. His mind searched for something older than memory. Summers he never lived. Backyards he never owned. Others noticed too. Backyards he never owned. Others noticed too. Plates began coming back empty. That one accidental grill drop had awakened something America had forgotten. Word spread quietly, not online. Not on menus, just whispers. There's a place where food tastes. Deeper, soon, people started asking strange questions. Why did some bites feel warmer? Why did some meals leave stains that felt comforting instead of messy? Cooks grew nervous. They were trained to prevent drips, trained to keep grills clean, plates untouched. But customers kept chasing that feeling, the one no recipe could describe. A few brave cooks began experimenting. They let the meat rest longer, they stopped wiping the grill too fast, they allowed gravity to participate. Drops fell again, and with them came change. Burgers gained character. Grilled sandwiches told stories. Food stopped being perfect and started being real. But not everyone was happy. Big food chains noticed the inconsistency. Drops made flavors unpredictable, messy, hard to control. They tightened rules, added barriers, installed drip guards. The grill drop was becoming dangerous, not because it ruined food, but because it reminded people that American food was never meant to be sterile. It was born from fire, accidents, and hunger. And now, the question was no longer whether the grill drop existed. It was who was allowed to use it.